we're a peace-loving race, but should danger ever threaten us, let the world know we will answer the call. God bless Australia, and Australia, all of the Anzac, the strong and the free. It's a home and our own land to cherish for eternity. God bless Australia, land of the free.
In the net. And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Grandstand on this beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Melbourne, and a big 8-race card today at Moonee Valley. We'll be televising that live right throughout the day, and also covering racing from Sydney today at Randwick and racing in South Australia at Cheltenham. So we have plenty of races for you to bet on this afternoon. Hopefully you'll find some winners, and of course it's just about the last opportunity to finance some of those Christmas presents. So good luck to you today. The first event from Moonee Valley coming up at 12:35. Well, speaking of the Valley, let's check the track conditions now for racing out there today. And the track is good, the weather is fine for racing out of the Valley, and the penetrometer reading for racing today is 2.92, so we have an excellent track for the big program at Moonee Valley this afternoon. Straight down to business, and we'll have a look now at the scratchings for the program. A total of 9 scratchings to report, and from the first event, the Hollymount handicap at 25-1. The scratchings are number 5 Amni Core and 7 Beachbird, 5 and 7 from the first. Race 2, take out number 7 Carondelet. The third event, the Gisborne handicap, is clear. The fourth, the Yuletide handicap, the scratching is number 8 Space Brandy. Race 5, the Woodlands handicap at 5-3, first leg of the double. Withdrawal here, number 11 Opine Trust. The Sherwood handicap is race 6 at 3:35, and number 14 Madonna Lily comes out. Race 7, the Romsey handicap at 4:15, take out number 10 Touch of Paradise. And from the final event on the card, the scratchings are number 2 Brisk and number 5 Service Star, and a field of 13 to run in the lucky last event. So there you have scratchings for today's program at Moonee Valley. As I mentioned, the first event getting underway at 25 minutes to 1. And let's check.
Followed by Blue Cyclone. Stylish Chell around the outside of the next bunch of horses, followed by Vibrancy. Then behind them came Princess Delight, who's well back in the field with Manchester Lass. Lady Monroe is one of the last as they sweep up towards the corner now. With about 600 to go, and Anonym Girl back with it. Elshendager in front about 2 lengths. It's Stablemate on the rises, going out after it now. They've kicked clear of Goodbye Trentham Weakening, and then Marathon Star, Blue Cyclone and Proud Swelter. On the rise out after the top weight, Elshendager with 300 to go. Elshendager led a length, Clark nursing it. He's going for it now. It led a length and a half into the straight. It's kicked right away from On the Rise, and it's drawn away with a 3 lengths break in the straight from On the Rise. Oh, class is going to tell. It's going to walk in Elshendager. Goes on to score by about 5 lengths. Close for the minors, Marathon Star got up for second in front of On the Rise. Behind those horses then Proud Swelter. They were followed by Goodbye Trentham, who showed quite a lot of speed. Stylish Chell is next, and Anonym Girl made up ground from Lady Monroe, Blue Cyclone. Back behind them then Vibrancy, who's one of the last to finish in the race, and just in front of it is Manchester Lass. Stand by for the placings. Or Princess Delight finished about 3rd last. Walked in number 1 Elshendager, M. Clark. And I believe that it will have improved on the run also. And they've run 59.6. It's certainly hiked over the journey. 59.6 it's run Elshendager. Second placing to number 15 Marathon Star, D. Trianda Faloo. And third is number 2 On the Rise, ridden by A.G. Clark. 1:15 and 2 of the numbers, 59.6 the time. Now here's how they're going to pay on the tote. Number 1 Elshendager first, Marathon Star second, and third placing going to On the Rise. 1:15 and 2 correct weight, race 1 at Moonee Valley. Back with the first from Adelaide after this break. 1 Elshendager with correct weight, 85 a win and 55 the place.
Number 15, Marathon Star, won 10. Number 2, On the Rise, 50 cents. Quinella paid $4.75, and the trifecta was $22.15. Now, candidates are at the stalls and moving in for the first event in Adelaide this afternoon. Ron Paps will be your caller at Cheltenham, and they're almost set, in fact, with 2 scratchings, Last Senorita and Truish, a field of 7 to run. And Al Rabi, number 1, is round about a 7-2 on chance in the ring over there in South Australia. Race 2, 3 and 4 from Adelaide this afternoon are clear of scratchings. Race 5, you can take out number 3, Overland Boy. The 6th and 7th races are clear, and race 8 scratchings are 2 and 7. Here's Ron.
The Arabian colours of Al Rabi came out best on the inside, headed now by I Believe, who's going fast, and with them Muralura Midnight George, who's now getting back a little. Henley Square's run up to 3rd early, followed then back in the field by Edward Mack. Midnight George seemed to dip and lose ground sharply. I don't know whether something might be amiss of it, and going past it, Natural Charm. They race to the turn, and I Believe has made it a truly run race with 600 to go. Led by a length and a half, Henley Square running a better race today. Al Rabi down on the rail is pocketed momentarily, 3 lengths away to Muralura. About 3 then to Edward Mack, and 3 lengths away then Natural Charm, and forget about Midnight George, homeward bound, and these prominent lime green peacock colours shot away. I Believe 2.5 in front. Al Rabi struggling to the outside. Henley Square is sticking on well. 200 to go. I Believe a length and a half now. Al Rabi coming with Henley Square. It's I Believe being collared by Al Rabi. It's raced very greenly, but it's grabbed the lead, and Al Rabi will get home. Favourite back has had a few pensive moments though. Al Rabi coming away 2.5, I Believe, a nice run. Henley Square 3rd, a good effort. Raking ground, Natural Charm, followed by Edward Mack, never a chance, then Muralura, and well back to Midnight George.
Well, I think you'd probably be looking for a stiff drink after that, but Al Rabi's got the money quite easily at the finish, but a few worries throughout the race. 1, 9 and 8 will be the numbers. Al Rabi to pay 60 cents for the win and 50 cents for the place. Number 9, second, I Believe, $1.40, and there'll be no third tote dividend for number 8, Henley Square. Race 2 in Adelaide at 1:25, a field of 9 to run, and the approximate totes show 5 Twig on.
Well, with Marathon Star and Goodbye Trentham on the rise began okay, and going through near the inside is Proud Swelter up into a handy position, followed by Blue Cyclone. Stylish Chell around the outside of the next bunch of horses, followed by Vibrancy. Then behind them came Princess Delight, who's well back in the field with Manchester Lass. Lady Monroe is one of the last as they sweep up towards the corner now. With about 600 to go, and Anonym Girl back with it. Elshendager in front about 2 lengths. It's Stablemate on the rises, going out after it now. They've kicked clear of Goodbye Trentham weakening, and then Marathon Star, Blue Cyclone and Proud Swelter. On the rise out after the top weight, Elshendager with 300 to go. Elshendager led a length, Clark nursing it. He's going for it now. It led a length and a half into the straight. It's kicked right away from On the Rise, and it's drawn away with a 3 lengths break in the straight from On the Rise. Oh, class is going to tell. It's going to walk in Elshendager. Goes on to score by about 5 lengths. Close for the minors, Marathon Star got up for second in front of On the Rise. Behind those...
The winner, Elshendager, number 1, 85 and 55. Second, Marathon Star, $1.10. Third, On the Rise, 50. Quinella paid $4.75. Trifecta, $22.15. And in case you've just joined us, Boardwalk Angel was a late scratching at the barrier at 12:37. Well, as we mentioned earlier, the big news in racing this week has certainly been Larry Olsen's appeal against a 12-month disqualification for improper practice, in that he failed to allow Sound Horizon to run on its merits in the Great Western at Flemington on Melbourne Cup Day. That appeal has been heard by the Independent Appeals Tribunal, and yesterday the appeal was upheld and the penalty set aside for Larry Olsen. And in 7 National News last night, I filed this report. Following 12 hours of hearings over the past 2 days, Larry Olsen arrived at the tribunal this morning confident, but no doubt a little anxious. Judge John Nixon, chairman of the tribunal, began his summing up at 5 minutes past noon. In his half-hour finding, Judge Nixon recognised that Olsen's reputation was of the highest order. He said that Olsen was a gifted horseman, basically a hands and heels rider with the ability to use the whip vigorously when needed. But in this appeal, that fact was a two-edged sword. Judge Nixon said he rejected the accusation that Olsen had pulled Sound Horizon to the inside to bury the horse. He ascertained the stewards had not given sufficient weight to the important feature, Gerald Ryan's lack of control over Captain Police due to his loss of both stirrup irons. While conceding that the stewards were justified in opening the inquiry, Judge Nixon said Olsen had been a victim of circumstances, and accordingly the stewards had failed to make out their case properly. And at 12:35, Judge Nixon spoke the words that Larry Olsen had been waiting over 6 weeks to hear. The appeal is allowed. In legal terms, the conviction is quashed, the penalty is set aside, and the deposit is to be refunded.
When, of course, the words were delivered that the appeal was upheld, well, it certainly was relieving. It was a great weight off my shoulders. I've always believed in myself all the way through. I couldn't believe that what happened, what come about did happen. As I say, I am relieved. I'm pleased that the rest of Australia wasn't wrong, you know.
On leaving, Chairman of Stewards Pat Lawler's only comment was that he accepted the judge's decision. Yes, Larry Olsen cleared of a 12-month disqualification. He was confident all along, Jen, but I'm sure he would have been a very relieved man yesterday.
Oh, I'm sure he would have. After all that wasting he's done, he's lost an incredible amount of weight. And to ride the Melbourne Cup winner, he would have been on that huge high, and for that to happen, it must have been so disappointing. But of course now it's all right and you can get back into it again.
All right, well, good news for Larry Olsen there after yesterday's independent appeal. And of course, Rollo Roylance and Les Coles were the assistants to Judge John Nixon on the Independent Appeals Board. Now, there's one almost gone through the front. In fact, it has gone through, and that is number 5 here in the first event in Sydney, and Mick Dittman has been dislodged from So Joyful. But hopefully Mick might be all right there. Apparently he's rolled up his sleeve and he may have just grazed his arm prior to the start of this, the first event, but they're taking So Joyful back around to the rear of the stalls, and they'll move her in just a moment for this, the key handicap over 1,000 metres. There are 9 scratchings at Randwick today. The second event is clear. From race number 3 you can take out 16 Rocket Shoes and 18 Worse for Wear. From the fourth event on the card in Sydney, scratchings are 8 Biscay Prince and 10 Ponchielli. Race 5, the Villiers, the scratchings are 21 and 22, I'm an Individual and Potter McQueen. Races 6 and 7 are clear, and from the final event, the Superfecta race, the scratching is number 1, Nyako Beauty, which was a late scratching. So there you have the situation with the scratchings in Sydney today. It's a fast track and the weather is overcast for racing at Randwick, and Big Field's the order of the day, especially in the Villiers, the big race of the day, race number 5 on the card. Interesting to note, talking about Larry Olsen, that Sound Horizon is in the Villiers, and Larry of course has missed the ride on Chintilla because of the inquiry being concluded yesterday, and it's one of the top chances. Now they're almost set. Mick Dittman climbing back aboard So Joyful, and all of the horses are in the stalls, still a bit of movement, but let's take you to Ian Craig for his call of the first event.
Not quite aboard, So Joyful. Now he's getting back into the pigskin. La Pazette from the Gary Rafter stable stands nicely. So does Romantic Thoughts, Naviti. Edgy is Liberty Light. Now they're set and ready to run. Off this time, and So Joyful on the back pedal when the stalls open, missed it by more than a length, and Gestures one of the best away, headed by Newton Moss, and going quickly La Pazette with Under the Bridge. Miss Pompey going to be pratted very deep as they settle. So Joyful picking up ground now from Winning Vein, Naviti, Romantic Thoughts, Liberty Light, Gestures, then Himalaya Vein and Diamontes. A length Ashray, and then comes Lacassan the inside. Red Tat second last, Flirting Glance last. Newton Moss a half, La Pazette, and 3/4 and 3 deep So Joyful as they round the corner. 2 lengths to Winning Vein, fourth on the fence, and Newton Moss is hanging badly, I note. A length Under the Bridge, then Miss Pompey and Gestures, but So Joyful's dash to the lead over the rise, and she kicks away the favourite more than a length on Newton Moss and La Pazette, and 2 Miss Pompey and Himalaya Vein heads the others from Gestures, but So Joyful at the 120, 2 Newton Moss, Himalaya Vein dashing down the outside, but all in vain, and it's So Joyful. Good effort this filly after blowing the start, and So Joyful a length and 3/4, Newton Moss. Third was Himalaya Vein, then Gestures and Miss Pompey, Liberty Light, Romantic Thoughts, then Naviti and Lacassan, Flirting Glance, Diamontes, Red Tat, and then Ashray, Winning Vein. La Posette has run second last and Under the Bridge at the rear.
Numbers 5, 3 and 1 as called by Ian. The winner 5, So Joyful. Mick Dittman, the one that was playing up at the start. 3 Newton Moss second, 1 Himalaya Vein third. The winner should pay approximately $1.20 for the win and 70 a place. In fact, these should be official, 120 and 70 for number 5. Number 3 second to pay $4.55, and number 1 third Himalaya Vein to pay 60 cents on the tape. Now, race 2. The Amonis handicap at 135, Turf Terror 335 and 75.
All set for a start now. Field getting ready. The light goes on. They're racing. They've jumped away in a good even line too. Our Draw's one of the best to get going. Classified Lady and Pride of Biscay, hard ridden, have gone up to the lead on settling down. Cuda Theatre away well on the outside. Down the hill to the 1400, Pride of Biscay just led from Classified Lady, and Cuda Theatre the outside, a length to Our Draw, Gallerita. Then Table Habit, Shifting Comet round the outside of that bunch of horses. Eulacare going fast from Countess Eve, and Numia Lass didn't want to go round that corner, dropped out last. At the 1200, and Pride of Biscay by 2 lengths, Classified Lady, a half Cuda Theatre at its girth. One away Eulacare, and then came Our Draw tucked away on the inside under restraint. 2 lengths Shifting Comet, 1 to Gallerita, a half Countess Eve, Table Habits and Numia Lass at the rear. 900 to go. Here's a change now. Cuda Theatre went to make a run, and Classified Lady went with it and pushed it 3 wide, moving up on the outside of Pride of Biscay. 1 to Our Draw, sitting behind them a length, Eulacare. Countess Eve off the rails with Numia Lass commencing their runs from Table Habits. Up by the 600, Pride of Biscay and next Classified Lady. Needing a run badly now as Our Draw on the inside. Cuda Theatre and Countess Eve have gone around it. Then came Eulacare. Numia Lass can't go on. With about 350 to go, Classified Lady, a narrow leader from Pride of Biscay. Our Draw trying to get between horses. Countess Eve over on the outside and Cuda Theatre in the centre, and 3 to Table Habits. On the turn now, and Classified Lady in front. Our Draw tried to bump its way out, but it won't make it, I don't think. In the straight now, and Classified Lady in front. Our Draw trying to get through from Countess Eve. Our Draw's got through, taken the lead from Cuda Theatre, and Our Draw's won it. Good ride. Our Draw first, Cuda Theatre second, Countess Eve third, and nose in front of Pride of Biscay, Classified Lady and Table Habits in line. Good gap to Numia Lass, followed by Gallerita, and then behind them Shifting Comet, and last of all is Eulacare. Well, he gave Cuda Theatre a little bit of a nudge to get it out of the way. Our Draw just couldn't get out. Cuda Theatre was holding it in. They were laying on one another, and eventually he was able to get out on Our Draw. A dashing ride, and it's got up to score all right. Number 2, Our Draw, ridden by D. Gauchi first. Photo for the minors. Cuda Theatre will get second, and Countess Eve will get third. That's the way you'll find them after the photo. The time 1:37.6. Our Draw by Voodoo Rhythm from Penny Draw, trained by R.J. McGuinness at Caulfield, ridden by Darren Gauchi is the winner. Should pay $1.25 and $65. Photo for the minors. Cuda Theatre to get second at $1.10, and Countess Eve to get third at 65 cents. The race very tight round the home turn, and Our Draw, I didn't think it was going to get out. Classified Lady got the upper hand narrowly on the corner from Pride of Biscay, but Cuda Theatre was holding Our Draw in. They had a little bumping duel. Gauchi couldn't use the whip on Our Draw. They were racing so close, but eventually the little bit of space came for him, and he's got up the score. Number 6 is second. Cuda Theatre officially, ridden by I Virtue. And the judges call for a further photo for third placing in the race.
Well, we're coming up to the running of the next event in Al Rabi. Number 1 paid $65 for the win and 50 cents for the place. Second, I believe, was $1. There was no third tote dividend for number 8 Henley Square. The Quinella was $1.35 and the trifecta $16.50. All right, well, they're moving into the stalls, but we have just a slight problem with our pictures from Adelaide at the moment. Hopefully we will get those before the field jumps away in race number 2 on the card. And let's hope that the punters can continue along their successful note, with the favourite being successful in the first event, Al Rabi. Well, they are just about all in the stalls, but unfortunately we can't show you any pictures from Adelaide at this particular stage. And as I say, we are hoping that before they jump, those pictures will appear. It's an 8-race program in Adelaide today. With
Around the Atlas Shrugged and also Sister Kaz make a line of 3. The pace has slackened a bit at the 1200 metre mark, with the result that the favourite Fire Twig has to check back again. Around them Jubilee Echo, and going up between horses now prominent is Grey Twig. They were followed further back by Fire Twig, drifting back to about 4 lengths off the lead, and still not getting much room. Toy's Daughter around it, and so too is Hot Shoes, and last of all is Captured. Well, not too much luck going by way of the fancied runner Fire Twig as they shape up to run down the side, 8.50 out, where the leader now is Atlas Shrugged, about a half length in front of Jubilee Echo. Still can't get a run on Fire Twig. Tears for Fears second on the inside. Around the outside, Hot Shoes. Jubilee Echo goes up in the middle. Around them, Grey Twig, Toy's Daughter. Where's Fire Twig working through the pack now with Tears for Fears. Sister Kaz behind them and Captured. So they come to the turn. There's a pack of them. Jubilee Echo goes through to head Atlas Shrugged. On the outside, Grey Twig, and out deeper Hot Shoes. In behind them, Tears for Fears and Fire Twig called upon to the outside of the lot of them. Further back, Atlas Shrugged tiring, followed by Toy's Daughter, who's struggling for the moment, and then came behind them Sister Kaz and Captured. Grey Twig put ahead in front. Fire Twig coming with Hot Shoes. Tears for Fears the inside. Fire Twig's got a great big heart. She's too good. She's had no luck whatsoever, but she's too good. Too classy, Fire Twig. She's home the good thing. Grey Twig second. Third, Tears for Fears or Hot Shoes out wide. They were followed by Toy's Daughter. Further back in the field behind those then came Jubilee Echo. Then Atlas Shrugged, Sister Kaz knocking up with Captured towards the tail.
Right, the numbers should be 1, 3 and a photo there in Adelaide. The winner, number 1, Fire Twig, wide all the way, but still a good performance. Number 3, second, Grey Twig, and it is a photo for third. And the two there are Hot Shoes and Tears for Fears, and looking at that, possibly Hot Shoes might have just run third. The winner, Fire Twig, should pay $1.10 for the win and 50 cents for the place. Number 3, Grey Twig, $1.15 for the win and 70 cents for the place. The second place get a Newton Moss, $4.55, and third, Himalaya Vein, 60 cents. The Quinella paid $17.20, and the trifecta was $67.95. Now we're standing by for them to move into the gates for the running of race number 2 at Randwick this afternoon. The Amonis Handicap, no scratchings and a field of 10. This event over 1,400 metres and is due to commence at 1:35, and we're right on starting time now. Let's check the result of the previous event, race number 2 in Adelaide. The winner, Fire Twig, number 1, returned $1.10 for the win and 50 cents for the place. Number 3, Grey Twig, paid $2.35. Hot Shoes, number 2, did get third and paid 70 cents. Correct weight has been notified on the numbers 1, 3 and 2. The Quinella was $7.05 and the trifecta paid $39.90. Now, before the situation in Sydney, and it'll be some time before the start of this second event, Schofield will come out. We'll take a break and be back with the second in Sydney in a moment. In Sydney, Schofield, he went flying past the winning post. As you can see, the clerk of the course is picking him up now, and I think he's just about had enough. So, Schofield, number 3, is a late scratching in Sydney, and all of the other runners are in the stalls. So they'll just make sure that the course is clear, and the starter will dispatch them. Schofield was about a 9 to 4 chance, so this is going to affect the dividends quite a fair bit. It was showing $1.55 and 60 on the Victorian Tote just a moment ago. And so this will alter the dividends quite significantly. And apparently there's been a good try for High Spy on course number 8, and it is the favourite on the Victorian Tote, $2.40 and 95, but that is without the figures for Schofield being taken out. All right, Ian Craig just on the phone at the moment, and just getting a call to confirm that Schofield, number 3, has come out, and there's no doubt about that. As you can see, the clerk of the course returning with the horse now. All right, once they get this horse back to the enclosure, they will let them go pretty quickly in the Amonis Handicap, and looks as though they're going to wait for him to come off the track. So they're around about 5 minutes behind schedule now, and they're going to get just a little bit later by the look of it. So High Spy, number 8, is the one that has been tried on course for the second in Sydney. Mick Dittman won the first event aboard So Joyful, number 5. And Noel Barker was supposed to ride Schofield here. Hopefully he's okay after being dumped. And Mick Dittman is aboard Miss Keating, number 2 here. Now Schofield, number 3, officially a late scratching in Sydney. Number 3, Schofield. And the sub is number 2, Miss Keating. Number 2, Miss Keating, the sub. There's Noel Barker, so he's okay. And we'll take you back to Ian Craig in just a moment. So it'll be pretty close to 1:40 for the late scratching here in the second event in Sydney. Schofield just about arriving back in the mounting yard in Sydney, and that official scratching time should be around about 1:40, but Ian Craig yet to confirm that. And now they look to be just about right, so we'll take you to Ian for race 2, and here's his call of the second event.
Line steadies, racing, and Copper Gnome, one of the roughies, stood there, missed it by 3 or 4 lengths, and Miss Keating away pretty well, and so was Whispering Spur, Trilogy Miss, and Tap the Till. Turf Terror's not far back, and then the well-tried High Spire, Length My Market Love, 2.5 Tavatil, and 3 or 4 lengths to Copper Gnome. At the end of 400 metres, and Tap the Till shows the way by 3/4 to a length on Miss Keating, who's racing between Whispering Spur wider, Trilogy Miss on the inside, 1 High Spire, Length My Market Love, Turf Terror of the rail, Tavatil second last, as they begin to slow in about 3 or 4 lengths Copper Gnome. Approaching the 800 and going past that now, and Tap the Till under restraint by a length on My Market Love, going up quickly. Third is Whispering Spur, a length to Trilogy Miss, Miss Keating, Tavatil, High Spy, 2 lengths Turf Terror, and forget about Copper Gnome. Inside the 600, coming up to the corner, and Tap the Till makes play. A length on My Market Love. Trilogy Miss waiting for the run. Oh, note My Market Love starting to hang, and Whispering Spur just on its inside as they straighten. Trilogy Miss into the open. The leader Tap the Till. My Market Love and Trilogy Miss battle on well, followed by Whispering Spur and then Turf Terror, and Miss Keating's next from High Spy, but at the 200, Tap the Till as the duff goes for it. Tap the Till, she kicks away about 2 lengths now on My Market Love. Trilogy Miss won't run on, and this is an intelligent ride by Duffy. Tap the Till is streaking away from My Market Love. Trilogy Miss will hang on now. High Spy lunged on the line, it's close for third, but Tap the Till's walked in. Second, My Market Love, nothing between High Spy and Trilogy Miss for third, and then Whispering Spur, Turf Terror, Tavatil and Miss Keating, and Copper Gnome last out, last home.
4, 7 and a photo in Sydney. Number 4, Tap the Till, to pay $3 for the win, 80 cents for the place. Number 7, My Market Love, will pay $2.45. The 2 in the photo for third, Trilogy Miss, number 6, to pay 70, and number 8, High Spy, to pay 60 cents. Now, out there on what looks like a beautiful day, and return to Bill Collins.
Apostolic coming forward, the top weight and favourite in the event, and comes up to the line, and they're set. Field settling in the stalls. There's the light now, they're ready, they're racing. And Zedid begun very quickly on the outside. Apostolic fairly away, and Donegal Spirit showing good speed in the early stage of the race, and Good Time Dancers gone through on the inside up to join them with Heramajo. Settling down, Zedid at the 800, got clear, a length and a half. Heramajo, a length for the back, Good Time Dancer. They were followed by Apostolic, who's handy in the centre of them too, and going right around the outside, Affirmative Action has gone up to join the leaders. They were followed further back in the field then by Taikio, and a well-back touch of Zephyr at the head of the others, and they were followed Multicultural, who's well out of it as they come up towards the turn, and so is Fearless Jake and Dulac. On the turn, 400 to go. Zedid about a half length clear as they make the corner from Heramajo. Apostolic hard ridden, and they were followed on the outside by Affirmative Action, who's battling one well. Zedid the leader. Heramajo gets out, it's the danger, then Good Time Dancer. 100 to go. Zedid holding them safely at bay, however, and Zedid's going on to score about a length and a half, 2 lengths to Heramajo. Good Time Dancers got up for third just in front of Apostolic, and then came Affirmative Action. Fearless Jake made up good ground along the inside of the next bunch. Dulac was just behind them, and they were followed further back in the field then by Toikio. Then came Segovian Recital, and Multicultural and Donegal Spirit and King's Answer were well back behind them. Official placings. Well, they said this could Scarpa, Zedative, and it can. Number 6, Zedative, ridden by Mark Riley first. Number 2, Heramajo, S. Knoll second. And third placing yet to be semaphored. They've run 59.2, which was scintillating time on this track, which has now been upgraded to fast. Good Time Dancer will get third, but the number is not in the frame. But there's no doubt that it has run third in the race.